Okay, so this is a recording of Storm done on July 31st, which is before the big update. This is the old glitch entrance, which used to be a piece of cake to do. Now it's a little harder. And this is the old Storm entrance, which still has the cape kiosk and I think there's a cape and mask. I think we're over on the right. This is me, Marcy, and Fati. We tend to chat a lot when we're together, though this is one of my quieter runs, which is why I chose it. The fourth person is one of my alternate IDs, which I decided to bring through. So you'll see some chat. I'm going to have to check it and make sure it's not anything bad said on it. Marcy has been in the game for quite some time. Fati's a little newer, I think. Both of them I took through Eden the first times. That's a bad message to get when you're going through Storm. Low battery. I actually remember Marcy's first time through Storm because I don't remember where she and I met, but I took her through her first time. And she did not warp to me, so it was rough. It was very rough, and she then vanished after that playthrough. And I'm like, oh geez, I hope she's not really discouraged with the game and all this stuff, you know. So she just got busy, and so when she came back, I was very happy to see her. Fati is in the Middle East, and Marcy is in the Midwest USA. Along with me. So here we go. There are a couple of strategies I like to encourage for less experienced players in Storm. One is use warp. So you can get up to about here, and then it's like, okay guys, stay behind, come back, wait here and warp to me when I'm safe. Especially these two, because they are still protecting upgrades. I tend to like it when they stay behind. Oops, and I got smacked letting go of them. So they're staying behind, and they're going to warp to me when I am at a safe place. And my safe places tend to be far apart for newer players. And then as you go through Storm with me, I'll take you through more myself, and because I feel better about you getting hit if you do. So it's really up to you what you do with this. You can warp to somebody, or you can do it on your own. Follow. One person followed me through, which was also fine. I just personally like to get people through safe. So it's your call whether you want to take advantage of that or not. And some people are much more, I want to do it myself. At most I'll follow, and other people will never let go of my hand. So here I'm telling them to warp to me. I'm at a safe place. There's Marcy, there's Fati, and then I have to get myself up there too. But you can... warp is warp, so you can do it anywhere in the level. So you could be all the way in the hallway at the end of this area and still warp. So the option is always there just to wait at the staircase and not move until somebody warps from all the way up top. This section, this whole krill section, was added when I first played. It didn't start till the battlefield, which we'll get to eventually. I love this section. I just love it. It's fun. I sat here and got hammered by krill one day. Normally I don't, but one day just timing was off, and you can fly through it faster than I do. I tend to play it safe, so I sat here and waited rather than trying to run for it. This guy, I mean, their pattern is always the same, so you learn it. I'm really surprised he doesn't see you when you do that. They have really good peripheral vision in Wasteland, not so much here. And then this is another safe place. So I'm going to call my friends. There's Marcy, there's Fati, and there's me when I left myself behind. Okay, so you see the krill over there. So we're making our way up this thing. And across this thing. And then into this pipe, which is all timing. There's a krill that comes right along there, but you can get in here quicker. This dark material is relatively new. You get candles. I do wish I'd gotten rid of this menu, but I didn't. It's just, this is actually the cleanest. You can see there's rainbow candles. Back then, we still had the rainbows. This grate is relatively new. Even after this section was added, they put this grate here, and you have to jump down to open it. You used to just jump up over there, but they also added the crabs that are up there. So there's a good view of a crab. And there's a krill up there. And then here you're pretty much, you're good. This is a lot easier here. And so when you first entered Storm, before, I can't even remember what the date was. Sometime in, I want to say May. Maybe March, maybe April. April or May, somewhere. They added this section. So basically doubled the length, maybe more than doubled the length. I'm just looking at views, I think. I'm not sure what I was doing. So this part is pretty easy. You just stay to the left and you just get wind. You can fall all the way down back to the beginning. That's where you'll go if you fall down there. You don't want to do it. So this, about here is where you came up. Right in here is where you came into Storm when it was first introduced. This looks about right. Right, you had to go across to those barricades. And there is actually a hole along this left wall that you can also fall through. An intentional hole, a hole in the wall that you can be blown through. So this becomes relatively easy. This is a lot like the snow level in Journey. And see, I'm not letting them go. It's up to them. A lot of the snow, you just time it. You just time the wind. The last one is the hardest. This one is fairly easy. The next one is this one to this next one is fairly easy, but the next one is rather hard. It's a pretty long trip. I badly mistimed that. Sometimes the camera gets out of control and stuff. Okay, so here I'm letting everybody go. I'm like, we're gonna stay safe. Okay. Because this one is a little bit tricky. And this wind is brutal, and those rocks go right through everything. I mean, there's no protection. So it's one of the biggest complaints is I'm sitting behind a wall and the rocks go right through it. So I'm trying to time this and jump, and I'm not able to jump. Oh, there went Fati. Okay, there we go. So this is a little longer. Now, if you just get over to the right and behind that thing, then you're fairly safe. Okay, so now I call everybody. Okay, so there's everybody. And then this next part is once the wind is gone, it's pretty easy. This hallway has lengthened over time. It used to be fairly short, now it's very long. This is one of my favorite pictures right here. The mighty little people. Fati already has the new storm hair. We must have gone through it a few days before. This is end of July, and I know it was available a few days before this, because I have another video that I'm going to use for the after storm part. This was not a good trip for Fati. We made it to the end, and then she disconnected from us and went back to the beginning. So she did not make it to the rewards area with us, with Marcy and me, and neither did my alternate. I didn't save either of them, I don't think. Oh, maybe I saved my alternate, I don't remember now. One trick is do not hold hands into the light door. I'll mention that again when I get there. That's what Fati and I did, and we got disconnected. Here is the hard part. This is brutal. For a little while you have light. A while back, the water did not drain you of energy. Now it does. This is just hard. So I ask my friends to wait by the flame to stay warm, and I will make a run for it. This was easier, as you can see. Back then I had seven wedges of light of Cape Power. Now we have 3. So this is going to be challenging. One trick is you want to stay as charged as you can. So here's the first bit of light. Stop, and I was actually in okay shape. There are places along here you can get stuck. I try to stay away from these little pillar thingies, because these statues, the shrines, because I've gotten stuck in them. There goes one shield, there goes. So stay here, warm up, recharge. This is the last light there is. Everything else is dark. I personally have not been able to strategize this with a companion to where we could get through it. However, I have traveled with 2 people who got through to the end losing nothing. So I want to try it one day with somebody who's willing to risk it. Basically risk everything to see if we can make it by very slowly. It might have been easier back when we had more cape charge to begin with. Now this is harder. You lose light faster. One thing I've noticed is to try to go to the right. I didn't quite make it where I wanted to go in this case. To the right of all of these shrines. At this point, you just run for it. I am almost out of cape power, which means I'm going to start falling. Ugh. Okay, here's another trick. The emotes start going 3 at a time. You just keep going. I'm just flicking and flicking my finger, and just try to keep moving. You can die here. You can die, and I have died. You lose enough shields or emotes, and you do die. It's not a pleasant experience. You can see this is rough. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to die in this video. Just watching it is ugh. Okay, I'm good. Now, they cannot warp to me here. They have to wait till I've regained some light. And if you wait a little bit, you will regain your light. You just have to wait. So what I'll a lot of times do is just kind of chirp a little, say, I'm here, I'm good, but wait. Because obviously I have no way to chat with anybody. I guess I could actually, you couldn't, I keep forgetting there's a top left corner you can open the chat. I keep forgetting about that. Anyway, I didn't. I'm just letting, they know to wait until I chirp. So I'm not sure how many I lost there. I think I counted about 20. You die when you're left with 4. So you will, once you got down that far, and that the whole game starts fading, starts closing in. In the new version of Storm that I got to play once, and see, I regained my light, so they were able to warp. You could get down to one shield. Marcy goes in. Fati. There's Fati. Oh, my alt went in. Marcy goes in, and I stupidly kept holding hands with Marcy, with a Fati. And I made it in, and she did not. So I'm going to use a different video for the next part.